This is continue the video I was doing on Andrew Young. I've given up to the point where I was in Atlanta and the conditions that happened, and I'm made homeless and had antifreeze put in me. I'd done a book about mind control, and Larry Flint was shot. Later, Larry Flint flew me out there to his home in '83 twice in Bel Air. Um, and helped support me in the campaign. And in an endorsement he did, Hustler magazine he did in April of '84, he states that I knew who was responsible for his shooting in Lawrenceville, Georgia in '78. So now I'm going to go back to, and this was to replace one of the doctors I'd written about, Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, who went down in the KAL plane that was shot down over the ocean en route from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea. That went down with 260 plus people on it. It veered into Russian airspace and the Russian jets shot it down. So that was Larry McDonald that I'd written about and part of who had tried to have me killed at April Fool Day of '80. So now then back to, if I can get back there, I usually can pretty quick. Um, I was going to get into. I had gone down to downtown Atlanta. This is after the antifreeze and working for the district attorney, and I'm back on the street. I had my jobs blocked. I was back on the street, and I was in Atlanta trying to find my kids. And my husband, I had a divorce decree that was supposed to give me money, and I couldn't get it enforced. It would have given me a place to stay at least. And I'm still, you don't recover from antifreeze being in you. It takes a long time if you recover at all. Most people die. So anyway, I'm on the street and it's cold, and I am walking where I used to live and have a home, and uh, I went to Mrs. Martin Luther King's office, or Dr. King's office. He's dead, but went down there, their headquarters, asked to see her. And I had read done the book and etc. So there wasn't any doubt about any of it. Well, I sat there for a long time, and they found out I wasn't going to leave. So a young man, black man, came out, and he asked me to step outside in the cold. And shoeless, really. And he told me right off the bat, he was nice, but he said, we know about mind control because one of our doctor professors in South Africa was killed. He went to the dentist, and when he come back, he took a running, flying leap against the wall, and he smacked his face in. This, it can be done. And he died, so this man said, and I believe him. So I didn't understand why he just blatantly, I didn't have time to say much. He blatantly come out with it, and I didn't understand the South Africa. It didn't mean anything to me because I didn't know about being kidnapped. Now I'm going to go to Maynard Jackson, the mayor, black mayor, then. I saw him at that same time, or a few days later, downtown Atlanta, in a store. And I walked in and I said, I introduced myself and I said, do you know who I am? And he grinned and he said, I sure do. He walked out the door. I followed him. He got in a limo and drove off. Later, they renamed Hartsfield Airport to honor Maynard Jackson, Jackson Hartsfield Airport. So now I'm going to jump to Andrew Young. Andrew Young became mayor of Atlanta after Jackson, and I think that was 1982. He had been elected to Congress, and he had worked with Martin Luther King. He was so instrumental in all these organizations and civil rights and the marches and all this. Now then, he before Jimmy Carter became president, and they were friends. Young had gone and visited South Africa and all this. And anyway, there were, I don't know, anyway, the whole deal is, in a nutshell, that Martin Luther King, Andrew Young, partnered with the Illuminati, the Freemasons, and I might look like I'm free to move about. I'm not. They ransomed me for God's sake. And they all knew about the antifreeze. They all knew about all of it. And I guess I'm babbling, so maybe I should just quit here. But I went into Andrew's, I said that, I think. He was mayor. I went into his office, and I still had papers and everything on me of the book, etc., etc. And I sat there for a long time. He wouldn't see me, so finally I left. This is Andrew Young. And the whole deal is Andrew Young. You can Google it and get his bio, and he looks like this. And CNN yesterday, he was interviewed, and they called him the esteemed Reverend Andrew Young, and they interviewed him. If you did a background check on Andrew Young or Martin Luther King or any of these people in Congress that have to know about mind control murders, they have to know about my kidnapping. Yes, they do. The State Department, the presidents have all known. They don't mention it, do they? And they're, you should get their background check. Oh, they are great people. You do a background check on me, you don't even get my real name. But anyway, Andrew Young was a friend of Jimmy Carter. When Jimmy became president, he appointed Andrew Young as ambassador to the United Nations headquarters. That's the global government in New York. And using that, Andrew Young went to South Africa. And I'll just leave it at this. The uprisings, the overthrow, everything was to take down the British Empire. Everything that was British supposedly suddenly became independent. When it becomes independent, it's part of the global government, the Illuminati. The United States kidnapped me, took down my father, and helped establish the United Nations and all this mess. The wars that were created in Asia and all over, they caused the people to migrate or immigrate to Europe and overrun it. You didn't have a bomb there. You just they have two, but they brought all the people in there that have different cultures, and it's destroyed Europe, England, Germany, France, all of it. So they used people after they'd gone in and taken their country to come in and invade. And so Australia, they've even gone in there so bad. That's British. So it was to take down the UK, the central government, you could say, like going in and taking over DC here. And I guess there's a lot more I wanted to say, but that was the point. South Africa, they used the civil rights to take down, making them again the United States, and Martin Luther King and Andrew Young looked like the good guys. And they helped install Bishop Tutu, was that his name? And President, I just had his name. I don't know why I'm having trouble right now with it. Anyway, who became president down there? Everybody knew him. All these people were touted as being these great people. Well, they're all, I'm not going to say all of South Africa. I mean, I love South Africa. But they were the United States and the Illuminati, the global government, the United Nations, which is the name for the global government. You won't have elections anymore or borders or anything. And I guess that's about it. I'm going to babble here for some reason, it seems. So I'm going to go. Nobody's ever mentioned the ongoing crimes that you kidnapped a monarch, you took down a monarch, and installed your own, and you're going to drag Julian Assange, an Australian, who is guilty of nothing but being an honest man and telling the truth, courageous. You're going to charge him with interfering in an election? Do you understand, if finally the media is forced to tell the truth, how ludicrous this all is. One nation under God. You ever think about what does he really think about this whole scenario?